The office was eerily quiet that evening. Desks sat abandoned, save for the glow of computer screens left behind by co-workers eager to leave. I remained at mine, fingers flying across the keyboard as I rushed to finish my report. Deadlines had a way of sneaking up, and tonight was no different. "Still here?" The voice startled me. I turned to see my boss, Mr. Donovan, standing beside my desk. His tie was loosened, sleeves rolled up, an unusual sight for someone always so put together. He looked tired, but his smile was warm. "Just wrapping up a few things," I replied. "Come by my office when you're done," he said, his voice softer than usual. "I need to go over something with you." I nodded, my heartbeat quickening. There was something different in his tone, not the usual firm authority, but something gentler. I hurried to finish my work, then made my way to his office. The door was slightly ajar, so I knocked. "Come in," he called. The room felt different that evening. Quieter, more intimate. The desk lamp cast a soft glow, and a faint trace of his cologne lingered in the air. He leaned back in his chair, exhaustion evident in his eyes, though his expression remained kind. "Have a seat," he said, gesturing toward the chair across from him. At first, we discussed the project, but I could sense there was something else on his mind. His gaze drifted occasionally, not in discomfort, but as if he were lost in thought. "You know," he said after a pause, "I don't say enough, but I really appreciate your hard work. You're dedicated, and honestly, I rely on you more than I probably should." His words caught me off guard. "Oh, thank you," I managed to say. He smiled, but it wasn't the usual professional one. It felt more personal, more sincere. "I know I can be difficult to work with sometimes," he admitted. "You're not that bad," I teased, earning a quiet chuckle from him. After that, the conversation shifted. We talked about late nights at the office, frustrating clients, even bits of our personal lives. He shared stories from his younger days, things I never imagined he'd reveal. "I didn't always plan to end up here," he confessed. "Life has a funny way of steering you in directions you never expected." I nodded, feeling an unexpected sense of closeness between us. A comfortable silence settled before I reached for my coffee cup, only to knock it over, spilling its contents across my papers. "Oh no," I gasped, scrambling to contain the mess. "Here," he said quickly, grabbing a handful of tissues. He knelt beside me, blotting the spill. Our hands brushed, just for a moment, but the touch lingered longer than it should have. My breath hitched. "Sorry," I mumbled, pulling back. "It's okay," he said quietly. His gaze met mine, holding something unreadable, something I couldn't ignore. I left his office feeling more confused than ever. My thoughts tangled long after I stepped into the cold night air. The following days felt different. No matter how much I tried, I couldn't shake the memory of that night. The way his eyes lingered, the way our hands touched, even if just briefly. I told myself it was nothing, yet I found myself watching him more closely during meetings. I noticed the little things, the way he ran his fingers through his hair when he was stressed, the rare smile he gave when someone cracked a joke. Then, one evening, just as I was packing my bag to leave, his voice stopped me again. "Do you have a minute?" He stood by his office door, watching me. I hesitated, but nodded. Inside, the room felt calmer than before. He leaned against his desk, arms crossed, his expression unreadable. "I know things have been hectic," he began, "but I wanted to say, I've noticed how much you've taken on lately. I don't know how I'd manage without you." His words caught me off guard. Before I could respond, he sighed deeply. "Do you ever feel like you're just going through the motions?" he asked. The question surprised me. "Yeah," I admitted softly. "All the time." He smiled faintly, as if relieved. "Sometimes I forget what I'm even working toward," he confessed. "Feels like I'm just chasing deadlines." For the first time, he didn't sound like my boss, just someone tired, searching for something more. "I get that," I said. "It's hard when you're always expected to keep everything together." His gaze softened. "That's why I admire you," he said. "You make it look effortless." I let out a quiet laugh. "I promise it's not." The conversation shifted again, this time to things outside of work. He talked about his family, how distant he felt from them lately, how his job left him feeling isolated. "I guess that's why I spend so much time here," he admitted. "It's easier to stay busy than to face the quiet." "I know what you mean," I murmured. "Some nights, I sit in my apartment and wonder if I'm doing enough or if I'm just passing time." He nodded, his expression thoughtful. "It's strange," he said quietly, "but I feel like you're the only person I can really talk to." His words lingered between us, heavy yet comforting. "You know," he added, "I never imagined that someone 8 years younger could understand me better than anyone else." A soft smile crossed my lips. "Age doesn't always matter," I murmured. His gaze met mine, steady and warm, lingering just a moment too long, filled with something I couldn't quite define. "I should let you go," he finally said, his voice quieter now. "You've had a long day." I stood, but before I reached the door, he spoke again. "I'm glad we talked." "Me too," I replied. Yet, as I walked away, my heart stayed behind. Days passed, but his words stayed with me. The way he had said, I understood him better than anyone, kept replaying in my mind. I tried convincing myself I was reading too much into it, but the way he looked at me, calm yet searching, was impossible to ignore. One afternoon, as I was finishing up some reports, a message popped up on my screen. "Can you stop by my office before you leave?" I stared at the words for a moment, my pulse quickening. This time, something felt different. When I walked into his office, he was pacing near his desk, looking unsettled. "I'm sorry for pulling you away," he said, his voice softer than usual. I need to get something off my chest." He hesitated, as if gathering his thoughts. "I've been trying to ignore this for weeks now," he admitted, "but I can't anymore." He exhaled deeply before continuing. "I care about you more than I should. And I know this isn't ideal, the office, the age gap, but I can't keep pretending it's not there." I stood frozen, his words hitting me harder than I expected. A part of me had sensed it, but hearing him say it made it real. "I don't want this to make things awkward," he added quickly. "If you don't feel the same, I understand." I just couldn't keep acting like nothing's changed. For a long moment, I couldn't find the right words. My mind raced through all the late nights, quiet conversations, and the feeling I had been trying so hard to suppress. I don't know what to say. I admitted. "You don't have to," he said gently. "I just needed to be honest with you." The room felt heavier now, but his gaze never wavered. "It's not that I don't feel something," I said carefully. I don't know if it's right." He nodded slowly. "I get that. I've been telling myself the same thing." Silence stretched between us, neither of us knowing what to say next. "I think I just need some time," I said finally, "to figure out how I really feel." "I understand," he said with a faint smile. "Take all the time you need." I turned to leave, but before I reached the door, he spoke again. "Whatever happens, I just want you to know that you mean a lot to me." His voice carried no pressure, only sincerity. "Thank you," I said quietly, unable to stop myself from smiling as I walked away. The following week passed in a blur. I kept my distance, unsure what to say or how to act. Each time I passed his office, I felt his gaze linger, yet he never called me in or pressed for an answer. The space he gave me should have made things easier, but it only made them harder. I couldn't stop thinking about him. One evening, as I walked home alone, my thoughts tangled. I replayed his words, the way he had spoken, genuine, vulnerable. His feelings weren't impulsive. They weren't just about attraction. They came from something deeper. He wasn't just my boss. He was someone who saw me, who understood me in a way few people ever had. And somehow, that made me feel a little less alone. The next day, I made up my mind. When I reached his office, the door was closed, but a faint glow of light seeped from underneath. I hesitated, then knocked. "Come in," he called. He looked surprised to see me, but quickly masked it. "Hey," he greeted softly. "I've been thinking," I started, my voice uncertain, "about what you said." His expression turned serious, but he didn't interrupt. "I won't pretend I haven't felt something too," I continued, but I was scared of what it could mean, of how complicated it might get. His eyes softened, hope flickering behind them. "I get that," he said. "I've been scared too. I don't know what this should look like," I admitted, "but I know I don't want to ignore it anymore." A small, genuine smile crossed his lips. "I don't want to rush anything," he said. I want to know you better, outside of deadlines and meetings." I nodded, feeling an unexpected sense of relief. "I'd like that." We agreed to meet for coffee that weekend, somewhere away from the office. The day arrived, and when I walked into the cafe, he was already there, waiting. His smile when he saw me was different, warmer, unguarded. It put me at ease instantly. Conversation came easily. He told me about his favorite books, his love for cooking, and how he once spent an entire vacation trying to teach himself a guitar. I laughed more that afternoon than I had in weeks. When we finally left, the air was crisp and cool. We walked side by side, his hand brushing against mine. This time, neither of us pulled away. "I'm glad you came," he said softly. "Me too," I replied. For a moment, we stood there quietly. Then, without overthinking, I reached for his hand, lacing my fingers through his. His grip tightened slightly, warm, steady. "I don't know where this will go," I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. "Neither do I," he said, "but I'm not going anywhere." We stood there for a while longer, the city lights glowing in the distance. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was exactly where I was meant to be,